Okay, the motor's on there. It's not bolted down yet. What is that, M8, or yeah, M8 by 40. That's these right here. Those are the bolts for it. You want this recoil cover facing outwards, and that'll put the hydraulic pump under the machine, and you're going to be connecting to this right here in a little while. But time to get this thing bolted down. Okay, the engine is on, and it's really starting to look like a regulation log splitter now. Okay, now it's time for the suction hose. That goes from the pump here over to the reservoir and is held on with these two hose clamps. So let's pull these out of here and get that hose on. Pull the plug out, a little bit of oil. Okay, get that all the way on. Get that one all the way on. And get the hose clamp past that little bump. Okay, the suction hose is on. Now to get the low pressure return hose on. They really make this easy. This is absolutely a high quality machine. So far, zero problems putting this thing together. And the way they have this marked, I just got to cut this. You can immediately see that this one right here is the low pressure hose that goes to right here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then this one is going to be the high pressure hose coming from the pump right there. Real easy. All right, let me get something to cut this, and we're off to the races. Okay, this is the low pressure hose. Don't want to do any cutting around the hose. There we go. Beautiful. This connection requires an O-ring. The two O-rings are right here. You need to get those out of here without damaging them. All right. Slip that O-ring in there. And then grab our hose. And again, this is the high pressure. All right, the hydraulic hoses and the sump hose are in place. Now it's time for the catchers. We'll do this one first, the big one. All right. Hit our first problem. The hardware kit was missing one of the lock washers, which is not a big deal, but that's going to make me run to town and get a lock washer, so that kind of sucks. But for the most part, this is a really good kit. Okay, now for the small log catcher. This goes angled down, so it's kind of flush, and it's kind of hard to get on. Well, this is going a lot easier than I thought it was going to go. All right, beautiful. Get one side started. Get the other side in there. Alright, and then tighten that down. This is a 17mm wrench. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, now to add the oil. These things do not come with oil. This is the oil filler plug, and it appears to be stuck. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna have to take a wrench on that. There we go. This is a very difficult area to get at, and they give you, I'm gonna have to clean that off. Do not want any grit in there. Now what they say is to fill this within 1 or 2 threads of the end here, and do not overfill. But if you're 1 thread from the end, any more than that is going to overfill and just drip out. There's really no way you can overfill this. Alright, let me get that cap and clean that off wherever it went. There it is. Yeah, that's the problem with working on gravel. Okay, this thing holds, what is it, 500 milliliters, which is a little more than half a quart. Okay, they recommend 10W30, and they recommend, well, they tell you not to use synthetic oil during the break-in, and you really don't have to use synthetic oil at all, but after the break-in you can use it if you want easier starting in cold weather. Alright, I'm trying to gauge this. Well, the funnel works pretty good. I'm going to have to connect this to the machine somehow so I don't lose it. Little more than half a quart. Getting there. Okay. That is it. The oil is filled and the plug's back in. Now we need to put gas in here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, let's fill that up. This is going to be kind of difficult. I have a 6-gallon tank here, so it's pretty heavy. Okay, it's time to add the hydraulic fluid, but first I noticed when I was hooking up these lines that they have the control handle disconnected. So first, I think I could do this just right away with one hand. Okay, that should do it. Now I need to add 4 gallons of hydraulic fluid to this, then cap it up, start the engine, and then cycle it a few times until it runs smooth. Then check the sight glass, which is right here, and add more hydraulic fluid. Okay, you should be able to see the sight glass. The oil level is right there. That's about where we want it. Now we're going to take this funnel out, cap this back up, and when we tighten this plug down, we want to make sure that that's pointed like at the machine. That's a pressure relief valve. We'll get this tightened up, we'll start it and purge the lines. Okay, now time to start it up. Okay, this is the choke right here, the top one. Moving it to the left chokes it, and this is the fuel right here. Turning it to the right turns the fuel on. The engine is on by default. That just turns it off. All right, let's give this a pull. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to start it again, running through a few cycles, then add some more hydraulic fluid, and she's done. Alright, now that we've purged it a bit, you can no longer see any hydraulic oil in the sight glass. It's not hot, so we can open this up. If this were hot, you definitely don't want to open this up, but this is nice and cool. We're going to open this up, add about another ½ gallon, and make sure that the sight glass is covered, and that should do it. Okay, that's going to wrap it up. Going to shut off the fuel, check that sight gauge. I added all of the rest of that hydraulic fluid, and we're at about 3/4 of the sight gauge, so that's all good. The instructions said to add another ½ gallon, but it also said to fill the sight gauge. That should be just fine. Okay, other than the missing lock washer, this was a perfect installation. All the instructions were really good, and the labeling of these hoses was real nice as well, and having them connected on this side. You can see this is filled with fluid now. Yeah, everything looks really nice. That little jittering that you've seen when I cycled this before, that was just air in the lines, and I believe that's all purged. I don't see any air in there. But if it's not 100% purged yet, it will be purged when I use this first time, which is going to be in the next video. In the next video, I'm going to put this bad boy through its paces, do a complete review of it. I'm going to hook it up to the gator and drive it down the private road over there. A big hickory tree fell couple weeks ago. It's all diced up over there. So I'm going to split all of that up and let you know how this thing works. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.